Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Hare Krishna, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 23rd chapter, verse number 7. Ye me swadharma niratasya tapah samadhi vidyatma yoga vijita bhagavat prasada tanevate madnu sevanaya ruddhan drishtim prapasyavit ramya bhaya shokan. Ye me swadharma niratasya tapah samadhi vidyatma yoga vijita bhagavat prasada tannevate mad anusevaya avaruddhan drishtim prapasya vitara bhayana shokan. Ye me swadharma niratasya tapah samadhi vidyatma yoga vijita bhagavat prasada tanevate mad anusevaya varuddhan drishtim prapasya vitaraga bhaya shokan. Synonyms, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ye, those which, me, by me, swadharma, own religious life, niratasya, fully occupied with, tapa, in austerity, samadhi, in meditation, vidya, in Krishna consciousness, atma yoga, by fixing the mind, vijita, achieved, bhagavat prasada, the blessings of the Lord, than, them, eva, even, te, by you, mat, to me, anusevanaya, by devoted service, avaruddhan, obtain, drishtim, transcendental vision, prapasya, just see, vitarami, I am giving, abhayan, which are free from fear, ashokan, which are free from lamentation. Translation. Kardama Muni continued, I have achieved the blessings of the Lord in discharging my own religious life of austerity, meditation, and Krishna consciousness. Although you have not yet experienced these achievements, which are free from fear and lamentation, I shall offer them all to you because you are engaged in my service. Now just look at them. I am giving you the transcendental vision to see how nice they are. Purport. Devahuti engaged only in the service of Kardam Muni. She was not supposed to be advanced in austerity, ecstasy, meditation, or Krishna consciousness. But imperceptibly, she was sharing her husband's achievements, which she could neither see nor experience. Automatically, she achieved these graces of the Lord. What are the graces of the Lord? It is stated here that the graces of the Lord are abhaya, free from fearfulness. In the material world, if someone accumulates $1 million, he is always full of fear because he is always thinking, what if the money is lost? But the benediction of the Lord, Bhagavat Prasada, is never to be lost. It is simply to be enjoyed. There is no question of loss. One simply gains and enjoys gaining. Bhagavad Gita also confirms this. When one achieves the graces of the Lord, the result is that sarva dukkhani, all distresses are destroyed. When situated in the transcendental position, one is freed from the two kinds of material diseases, hankering and lamentation. The transcendental achievement is love of Krishna is the highest perfection of Bhagavad Prasada or divine mercy. This transcendental achievement is so greatly valuable that no material happiness can compare to it. Prabodhanand Saraswati said that if one achieves the grace of Lord Chaitanya, he becomes so great that he does not care a fig even for the demigods. He thinks of monism as hellish, and for him, the perfection of controlling the senses is as easy as anything. Heavenly pleasures become to him no more than stories. Actually, there is no comparison between material happiness and transcendental happiness. By the grace of Kardama Muni, Devahuti experienced actual realization simply by serving. We get a similar example in the life of Narad Muni. In his previous life, Narad was a maid servant's son, but his mother was engaged in the service of great devotees. He got the opportunity to serve the devotees, and simply by eating the remnants of their foodstuff and carrying out their orders, he became so elevated that in his next life he became the great personality Narada. For spiritual achievement, the easiest path is to take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master and to serve him with heart and soul. That is the secret of success. As stated by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his 8 stanzas of prayers to the spiritual master, Yasya Prasada Bhagavat Prasada. By serving or receiving the grace of the spiritual master, one receives the grace of the Supreme Lord. By serving her devotee husband, Kardama Muni, Devahuti shared in his achievements. Similarly, a sincere disciple, simply by serving a bona fide spiritual master, can achieve all the mercy of the Lord and the spiritual master simultaneously. Say the Mangalacharna. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Desha Tarine Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataru Vesha Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna. First of all, my humble obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnavas. Seek your blessing. So my humble obeisances to His Grace Madhupati Prabhu for engaging in this seva, so that I can read some Shastra and purify my heart, can engage me in some devotional service. We are reading from this wonderful pastime of Mother Devahuti and Kardama Muni. And this chapter is Mother Devahuti's lamentation. I want to set some context here that Mother Devahuti is the daughter of Swayambhu Manu, and she is married to Kardama Muni, who is one of the Prajapatis, son of Brahma, who just had darshan of Supreme Personality of Godhead based on his devotional service, tapasya, and austerity, and is now married to. At the beginning of this chapter, actually, Maitreya Muni compares the relationship between Mother Devahuti with Kardam Muni of that of Mother Parvati and Lord Shiva. That how Mother Parvati is also a princess, is the daughter of Himalaya, and is married to a great Vaishnava, and then Supreme Personality, Lord Shiva, who is a mendicant, who is not, who doesn't even have a proper house. Not that he cannot have, but he doesn't. He prefers to, he's a Bholenath, so he doesn't prefer a lot of opulences. But still, Mother Parvati is very nicely, is not complaining about her situation where she is coming from a very royal and then princess life to this very humble life. But she is very nicely engaged in the service of Lord Shiva. Just like that, Swayambhu Manu's daughter, Mother Devahuti, is also a princess, and she is coming from a royal life, but is engaged into the service of her husband, Kardama Muni, who is serving, who is meditating, who has dedicated his life to Supreme Personality of God. Srila Prabhupada in the purpose writes that even in India today also, it is very prevalent that girls are encouraged to pray to Lord Shiva so that they can have a suitable husband. And the purpose behind that is that they should have a husband like Lord Shiva, who is a Vaishnava, whose life and soul is Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So we have to understand this context and then this relationship. Second point is that at this point of time, Mother Devahuti is very emancipated. She has not taken care of her body, and she has totally engaged herself in the service of Kardama Muni. A wife's position, again, Srila Prabhupada explains, is very important in the discharging of the duties of husband. A wife is a very intimate friend of the husband, and at the same time takes a slightly lower position so that she can serve husband. Now, by the discharge of the duty, or while the discharge of the duty, she has not taken care of herself, uh, and she has become very thin. She has lost the beauty. But if we see that when there's a dialogue between Swayambhu Manu and Kardam Muni, uh, Kardam Muni mentions, when proposal comes from Swayambhu Manu that my daughter uh, heard about your glories and is fixed in her mind to marry you. So during that conversation, Kardam Muni mentions how beautiful Mother Devahuti was when she married to, before she got married, she married to Kardam Muni. She was so beautiful that one of the Gandharvas named Vishwabasu, who is the chief singer uh, in the in the royal court of demigods, he actually fell from his aeroplane, when he was flying by, and he saw that uh, Devahuti was playing with the ball on her rooftop. Just by looking at her beauty, he was so mesmerized. He fell down. So Mother Devahuti was so beautiful. But in the service of uh, Kardam Muni, she has actually not taken care of herself. So now we come to the current context that Kardam Muni is very happy with her service. And now what he is going to give Mother Devahuti is all the opulences which a household life should have. He will give the luster back to Mother Devahuti body, restore her beauty, give her all the servants and the maids who will take care of her, will create a mansion, a flying mansion, which is so beautiful that it will beat the opulence of even Indra. It's so beautiful. And then they will uh, have this wonderful pastime of enjoyment. But in that context, we see that the chapter name is Mother Devahuti's Lamentation. And that is because at the end of this enjoyment for many, many years, thousands of years, they will also have a daughter, few daughters. And now Mother Devahuti is lamenting that we wasted all this time. Because as as blessed by Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kardam Muni is going to have Supreme Personality, Krishna himself as his son in the form of Lord Kapiladu. So Mother Devahuti's lamentation is that we wasted so much time, and now after marriage, these daughters will go to their own home, and you will also take sannyas. So who will be my shelter? That's one proposition. And the other is that they know that Kapil Dev is going to take birth, and he is going to be the shelter of Mother Devahuti. So that's why she's lamenting that we wasted so much time in our sense enjoyment that we did not focus on him. So that is the context of the storyline. But the main point here, which Srila Prabhupada also drives into the purport, is that just by serving a great Vaishnava, Mother Devahuti is automatically, she gets this siddhis, which are which are received by Kardam Muni, he mentions that Niratsya Tapah Samadhi Vidya. So, what does that mean? Fully occupied in the austerity and meditation. And that's when he got this Vidya. And Vidya is Krishna consciousness. He achieved these siddhis based on his complete engagement. But Mother Devahuti gets that just by serving her husband, who is a great Vaishnava. And then Prabhupada gives the example of Narad Muni, that how, uh, just by serving, just by having some remnant of prasadam, Mahaprasad, when during the Chaturmasya season, devotees of Krishna were visiting his house, and then uh, Narad Muni and his mother served them very nicely. And Narad Muni, when he was a young boy, then in his previous life, he used to serve and then take the remnant from their plates after they have honored the prasad. And just by having that, just by that service, he actually becomes Narad Muni in the next life. Uh, so we can see that, how important it is. We see even in there are other many examples of that uh, just by the service, just by the service of the spiritual master, just by the service of Guru, you know, the disciple becomes successful. We have example of Srila Prabhupada himself, that on the instruction of his spiritual master, just by serving to that instruction, that in the very first meeting, the spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, he asked Srila Prabhupada that you are a very good English speaking person. Why don't you go and distribute this knowledge to the Western world, the English speaking world? And Srila Prabhupada made this one statement his purpose of life. And just by serving to that instruction, we see that Srila Prabhupada established Krishna consciousness all over the world and is worshipped in every nook and corner of this world, just by following the instruction of his spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada became worshipable by the masses. In every temple we have Guru Aarti going on every morning. And his deities is being served, taken care of. So we have to understand that how important it is to. We also have to understand that this knowledge, we we can see that this knowledge is, here Prabhupada actually takes the example of the Guru Ashtakam, which we sing, that Yasya prasada bhagavat prasado Yasya prasada na gati. With his mercy is the mercy of Bhagavat Prasada. The blessings of the Lord are received. It's just by service of the Guru, just by Guru Kripa. We are Vrindavan Prabhu, Sri Vrindavan Prabhu will always say that we are in the movement of Kripa Siddhas. We do not have our own strength to achieve or reach any kind of achievements. We are in a movement where we achieve something just by the mercy. That's why we see that devotees are always asking for the mercy. And how do we know that we are getting mercy? A lot of time this question comes that how do we know whether we are getting the mercy? And mercy comes in the form of seva. So if we are getting engaged into some devotional service, that is not because of our qualification, it is because of the mercy, and we just have to grab onto it. Sometimes we do not, we think it as, a lot of work, but we just have to grab onto that mercy, that blessing which is coming, and then it's our bodily discomfort which is coming in between. So whenever we have um, any kind of devotional service, and that's again, so wonderful about Krishna consciousness, that whatever one has, one can actually serve Krishna just by that. We all know the story of the service comparison between a simple squirrel and Lord Hanuman. And in the eyes of uh, Sri Ramchandra ji, the service was equal, because on one side, the great, while building this Ram Setu, when Lord Ramchandra ji wanted to cross the ocean to reach Lanka, the monkeys, including Hanuman, will pick up big boulders, big mountains, and then put them into uh, ocean to make the bridge. On the other side, this squirrel will go and then, you know, uh, lie in the sand so that some sand particles stick to her hair, her skin, and then will go and then um, drop them on the bridge. And we see that Lord Ramchandra ji you know took that as equal as all these monkeys putting big mountains into the making of the Ram Setu. And that is because that was the strength of the spirit. So it is the intention which counts more. We all see, many times we'll hear this example that how do we, there is not big difference between a devotee who is engaged into the Krishna consciousness and the acts of a devotee who is engaged into the Krishna consciousness, or act of a devotee and act of a normal person, act of a grihastha and act of a grihini. From outside, it may look like the actions are very similar or same. No, there's no difference, but there's a great difference, and the main difference is of the dovetailing of the intention of Krishna being into the center. On one side, person is engaged into the satisfying of the senses by sleeping and mating and eating and defending. But on the other side, a grihastha, a devotee, is engaged into the same acts, but at the center is Krishna. Engaged into the sleeping so that can wake up next morning and then give some rest to the body and can perform the morning sadhana, can perform temple seva in the morning so that it's nicely rested. Similarly, for defending, building a house where Shri Radha Shyam Sundar is in the center and is being nicely served. Mating so that can produce Krishna conscious kids. Eating is not simple eating, but eating is honoring prasadam. Before that, nicely preparing and offering it to Supreme Personality. So that's the main point which we can try to learn from this verse and try to internalize, is that we are in the movement of Kripa Siddhas. Our siddhis are not our own, and the only way we achieve those is by serving the spiritual master. With that, I'd like to stop here. Sorry, I went 1 minute above. Is there any discussions, corrections? Take that up in
Thank you very much, Akhilesh Krishna. I would like to wish everybody a safe and Krishna conscious day and weekend ahead. A weekend filled with a lot of festivities. Memorial weekend, long weekend. The Shra Parivar. 6 blessings from all of you for Puja and Shyam on this weekend. We like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama Rama,
Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Shina Singha,
Nrsinga, Jai Nrsinga, Jai Jai
Singha,
Nrsinga,
Praladesha, Jaya
Praladesha, Jai
Padma
Padma Bringa,
Ladisha Jaya Padmamaka Padmapingam
Ugraveeram
Ramila
Mahatmam
Shantam Sarvadokam,
Vijnanam
Linga
Bhadram
Bhishanam Bhadram
Namiham.
Mitam Namamyaham.
Nrsinga Bhagwan ki jai,
Jai.
Prahlad Maharaj ki
Jai.
jai. Let's also some quick announcements. Govindas, for all practical purposes, will be closed for this long weekend, Memorial Weekend. Any other announcement, Krishna Babu?
No problem. No.
Who will be the speaker on Sunday morning? Anybody?
No,
No, I don't think we have scheduled.
I have it scheduled. We have to put local speaker, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hari. So, yeah. We like to offer our humble obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhayasya sindhu patitanam
Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namo Namah.
Vaishnavinda ki jai. Granthraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande.
Hari
Bol. Thank you, everybody. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, everybody.